Welcome to the AFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things AFC West. From the best creators in the division, including Denver Broncos creator Ryan, Kansas City Chiefs creator Marcus, Las Vegas Raiders creator Samoan, and Los Angeles Chargers creators Bolt Bros. Catch the AFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on the AFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. How about a beautiful intro, baby, for the AFC West Roundtable? We are back. We are back with another episode here to break down everything that happened in week 2. And then, of course, at the end, preview week 3, get their guys' predictions for what's going to happen this week. A lot happened, though. Okay, we broke down what happened week 1 last week, so make sure you check that out after today's live stream. But we're getting a better idea on these teams, right? Week 1, the philosophy behind that is we don't know what these teams are. Sometimes teams get lucky. But now as each week of football goes on, we're getting a real better idea on who these teams actually are. So we're going to break all that down today. But before we do, let's see how these guys are doing. Marcus, let's start off with you. It's been pretty rough. It's been pretty rough. The most rough we've seen from the Chiefs in a while. How was your mindset through all of this?
You know, I'm doing fine, honestly. 2 games in, we played the reigning Super Bowl champs. And, lost by 1 possession. We did that, without 2 of our top guys, missed a field goal, dropped a touchdown, which ended up being an interception. So, honestly, I know it's 0-2 is not used to – many Chief fans aren't used to that. But, honestly, not that bad. Now we're going to get into the kind of the cake part of the schedule. We got the Giants this weekend. So, bounce back spot this weekend. So, looking forward to that. Not all of us can come out the season starting to play 2 AFC South teams to start the season off. Not every team can do that. The Broncos had the Colts this past week, which is supposed to be a cakewalk. Wasn't so much, but that's okay. It's a tough part of the schedule, but now we're gonna get to sort of an easy portion here with the Giants coming up in Russ. So
got you. So maybe you've been down a little bit, but now an opportunity for you guys to get that momentum and maybe start going back up. So love to hear it. Andrew, how you doing?
Living the dream. If you're a Bolt fan right now, life is pretty good, 2-0, guys. Again, remember what was my prediction? We talked about what I thought the division was going to look like. You remember what I said? Chargers number 1, Chiefs number 2, Broncos number 3, and Raiders, the redheaded stepchild, at number 4. But honestly, at the end of the day, I still think all 3 teams will go to the playoffs this year as well, too. So who cares, right? At the end of the day, you got to punch your ticket to the playoffs. I'm just excited. Chargers played great. I think there's a lot of things they can get better. Look, the running game was not awesome. It was unawesome. In fact, actually, this last game against the Raiders, I think Justin Herbert was the leading rusher, if I remember correctly, for the Chargers. So that's a little bit embarrassing. But at the end of the day, definitely room for improvement. Yeah, Justin Herbert had 31 yards rushing. Najee Harris, 28. Omari Hampton, only 24. So, hey, Herbert's healthy. He can at least scramble and get outside the pocket. Last year was really tough for him. But, look, bottom line, he's playing great. He's got weapons to throw the ball to. And he averaged 3 seconds in the pocket this game. 3 seconds.
Wow.
That's shocking. And so the fact that he had 3 seconds to throw the ball in the NFL, that's a lot of time. And so, yeah, he was cooking. So we'll see what happens next week against Denver.
Yeah, that is a well above of an average time to throw. Let me tell you, as a Patriots fan, I know all about the average time to throw in the NFL. So trust me, I wish I had that problem. But Ryan, let's go down to you. How are you feeling about your Denver Broncos? I know that you thought you'd be 2-0 at this point, but unfortunately, Indiana Jones gets the best of you guys. How's that mentality?
Listen, despite a surprising loss, it was actually there's a lot of good that came out of it because our offense did look very solid for at least 3 quarters. It wasn't until that 4th quarter that things start to go like, oh shit, we can't move the ball. The defense that we talked up and we thought were going to be solid, they were the ones that gave up the game. They gave up that whole game, and that's where now everyone's like, get Drake Greenlaw in ASAP. Alex Singleton, he looks like a 32-year-old that just tore his ACL. This dude can't cover. Get him out. We should have kept Cody Barton, who was a solid backup, but could at least run. Alex Singleton, this guy washed. He's done. That injury affected him way too much on his agility. But I got to see Bo Nix live. I got to see him throw deep balls to Troy Franklin, so I'm happy. I saw 3 touchdowns. He had a pick. Guy hit his arm right when he was throwing. Probably should have thrown it to Franklin on the left side, getting open. on that play. But besides that, I was happy to see the offense actually look good, and we had a solid run game. I think this is the first time since like 2021 that we've had a running back rush for over 50 yards in 2 consecutive games. As J.K. Dobbins with 72 yards this game. So running game starting to look good. J.K. Dobbins looked very good. It's just about finishing right now and that defense being consistent. And typically this happens early in the season with a Vance Joseph defense. He'll blow a game or two and we'll be calling for his head. And then hopefully we can bounce back against the Chargers. But I don't know. They've given Vance Joseph fits as well.
So, Ryan, do you still feel like, I don't want to say, do you feel like there's hope? Because it's only week 2 or we're only heading into week 3. So I'm not saying that hope is down per se, but do you still feel like this is not a game that Broncos fans should be panicking about?
No, they shouldn't be panicking about it. We've had moments like this with Sean before, and ultimately he's proved time and time again that they only get better from this. And I think it'll be huge to see how they respond against the Chargers. And if they just get shit on and don't put in any effort, then maybe, okay, start panicking. But everyone's improved for the most part. And, you're going to have a bad game here and there. Hey, credit to the Colts. They were a solid coach team. I'm not saying like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs. We're going to see them looking back at this game like shit, they're a really good team, but they're solid. They weren't as bad as they were last year. They had a lot of good playmakers as well on that team. But we gave up more than we should have defensively. That's for sure. But a lot of solid playmakers on that team offensively. Tyler Warren had a good game. Pittman had a good game. Jonathan Taylor was running all over us. So, and ultimately we couldn't stop the run game, which screwed us over for the pass game. So I'm not worried about anything.
Hey, who knows, man? The Colts might have their franchise quarterback. Indiana Jones, man. Indiana Jones is looking crazy through 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so.
I don't want to give him like so many flowers in terms of, oh, this guy's going to be really good just to like try to cope. But just from looking at the passes he made, he looked like a really good QB for that game. For that game, he looked like a really good QB. I don't know where he goes from here, but he did look like a very good QB.
Yeah, first time it really feels like he's living up to the first round hype. And unfortunately, it wasn't with the team that drafted him. But Simone, let's go on over to you, man. I mean, what a difference a week makes. Geno goes out there looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And the next, he looks like a backup. I mean, just how do you feel as a Raiders fan seeing that difference in 1 week?
Oh, definitely like disappointed. I expected a much better game, something a little bit more competitive. I will say we didn't get blown out, but I don't feel like the Raiders look at all like what they did last weekend. Shout out to the Chargers. I got to give them their kudos. They definitely look like one of the better teams in the NFL. Justin Herbert looked like Justin Herbert of old, and he was out there slicing and dicing. I mean, like Andrew said, man, he had a lot of time in the pocket, and we gave him some big plays early on. I will credit the defense for at least giving our offense a chance to come back at any point of the game in the second half, but our offense was just horrible. Like you said, Geno Smith last week tore it up, over 300-some yards, and this week, even the first play of the game, man, interception right off the bat, I was like, oh, shit, here we go again, man. But yeah, our offense definitely lost us this game because we couldn't get anything going. Like I said, it started with Geno Smith. Brock Bowers wasn't at 100%. I expected a little bit more, but maybe he's still trying to get back to 100%. Ashton Jeanty, I don't know, man. I don't know whether or not to put a lot of blame on him because I feel like our offensive line was definitely a problem as well. And I don't know. It was an embarrassing game on prime time, but it's just one game. We had one really good game. We had one really solid game and one really bad game. And now I know that Raider Nation is kind of all over the place of how they feel. A lot of people saying, oh, Geno Smith is a bust now, or we should never draft Ashton Jeanty. But, right now I'm just trying to stay neutral moving forward because it is just 1 week and we got a Washington Commanders team coming up with no Jaden Daniels, most likely. So we still got a long season to go. 1-1 isn't too bad right now, so it is what it is. It could be worse. We could be 0-2, but I'm just trying to stay optimistic with it. It just sucks because I was actually at the stadium and Raider Nation showed up, and this is one reason why people like Raider fans don't show up, because when they do show up and we actually black out the stadium, the Raiders throw up a game like this, and we're like, well, we couldn't even score a touchdown, man. If it wasn't for Daniel Carlson, I don't know what we'd be doing right now. But yeah, definitely a disappointing game. But hopefully we get him back in LA.
Certainly, too. You need to find a way to get Ashton Jeanty going. This was a guy that was supposed to allow you to take some of that pressure off of Geno Smith, run the ball to open up the pass, not ask Geno Smith to go out there, throw 30, 40 passes a game and ask him to be the reason that Ashton Jeanty gets going. I mean, 19 carries, 38 yards against the Patriots, and then 11 carries, 43 yards against the Chargers. Certainly not what you're looking for against what was projected to be the premier running back in this draft class. So definitely a lot to figure out still for the Raiders, which is understandable. Brand new regime, brand new team. It's only heading into week 3. So not hitting the panic button yet, but maybe more to work on than maybe originally thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Simone, one thing I would say on this real quick. I was at the Chargers when LaDainian Tomlinson broke the rushing touchdown record. Chargers Broncos 35 TDs in one season, and he gave all credit to his offensive line. Jeanty could be an amazing running back, but if he doesn't have a good offensive line, you're not going to see it, right?
No, that's definitely true. I think for me is because we've seen Josh Jacobs with not really good offensive line still at least put up 50 yards on the ground or look a little bit more explosive. I feel like for me, and I've been hearing a lot of Jeanty's a generational player coming out of the draft. And I was one guy that I'm not saying I don't like Jeanty. There was other directions I would rather win in at that number 6 pick. But from what I was hearing, generational, you would think that no matter what, he'd be able to go out there and do whatever, Barry Sanders or whatnot. But, to your point, the offensive line plays a big part in that. I just feel like for a guy that we drafted that high, other than a couple of highlight plays, I would want to see a little bit more, But I feel like they weren't even giving him a big workload. I think they were taking him out a couple of times for Zamir White, which that was confusing to me as well. So, I mean, hopefully the rest of the season is better. I just so far in 2 weeks, it hasn't really looked like a top 6 running back potential or a top 6 pick potential so far. So I'll stay optimistic, Goose.
Certainly. Well, guys, before we start breaking these games down from week 2, want to build our parlay for this week over on the Sleeper app. As you guys know, you use the promo code RTS. That is RTS, and you'll get up to a $100 matchup on your first deposit. Terms and conditions do apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Now, we have another big in-division game this week, the Denver Broncos and the Chargers. So I'm going to kick this to Andrew and Ryan to build this week's parlay. Ryan, what do you think about Bo Nix here? Do you like the over or under of 218 passing yards?
I'm going to take the under because we're going to run the hell out of the ball.
Ooh, taking the under on Bo Nix. Okay, what about Cortland Sutton? That's your guy. Anytime touchdown, you think he'll get in?
Yeah. I feel like he always scores a touchdown against the Chargers.
All right. I like that. All right, let's go on over to you, Andrew. They only got one line here for the Chargers, so we only got one to give you here, but Amari and Hampton, anytime touchdown. You think he'll get in the end zone?
Man, I don't know. I kind of think Najee's going to get a lot. I'll say under on that. I think Najee's going to get more touches. He had a fumble in that game. Wasn't 100% his fault, but I think Najee's going to be getting more touches this game, so I would go with the under on that one.
Go with the under. Go with Najee. So this is going to be our parlay this week on the Sleeper app. Make sure you guys follow us over on the Sleeper app and let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. But fellas, let's go ahead and let's transition back over on to these games. And I want to start off with the Super Bowl rematch. Okay, I feel like this was a game that we all thought this has to be on Sunday Night Football. Why is this game not primetime? Feel like it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Like you said, Marcus, was closer than maybe some people projected. You guys ultimately do come out, though, with the loss. I know last week you said that, you thought maybe they would take this game personal, that they lost in the Super Bowl a couple of months ago. They would be the team that was more motivated. Fortunately, though, doesn't go your guys' way. What happened in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened in this game was our offense just kind of, didn't look right pretty much all game. Even with that, we still had a chance to win the game. Kelsey catches it, and then it's not tipped in the air for Makuba to pick it. But kudos to Josh Simmons for chasing down Makuba on that chase down. Great effort play from your rookie left tackle. This game kind of boils down to a few different things. One, there's no balance to the offense. Our run game is pretty much non-existent outside of Mahomes doing what he's doing. And you don't really want to see Mahomes, make that extra effort. And run the ball. He's the leading rusher in all quarterbacks in the NFL. He's leading all quarterbacks in rushing right now. 16th overall in rushing yards for Patrick Mahomes. So that's just something you usually don't see, at least this early on for Pat. He can run the ball, but not in the first 2 weeks of the season. And that just goes to show you he's trying to make something happen because, Pacheco and Kareem Hunt really aren't doing much. And it's not all their fault. Offensive line's really not getting push. Pass protection's a lot better than it was last year, but run blocking, not really giving lanes to our guys between Pacheco and Hunt. But yeah, I know Pacheco gets a lot of crud because people say he has no vision back there, in which is a little bit of that, but also offensive line's not getting pushed, and it kind of sucks because that right side's getting paid a lot of money between Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Juwan Taylor, all those guys are getting paid a lot. And then when you're coming out after the first 2 weeks and saying your rookie left tackle is the best offensive lineman so far, it's a great thing. But also at the same time, it's like, well, the guys on the right side are getting paid a lot of money. They should be doing a lot better than they are. And then defensively, first game of the season, Herbert kind of had his way with the Chiefs defense, and defense played really well. Jalen Hurts barely had 100 yards passing. The only thing I did not like was getting pressure on him. That was still tough, same as it was the week prior with Herbert. We actually had to blitz the entire time to get any pressure. It's the same kind of thing with week 1 and week 2, but the secondary was doing what played better than the week prior because A.J. Brown had like 5 catches for like 20 yards. Devontae Smith had the biggest play of the day for them, which the one bomb for 40 yards on Charles McDuffie. But I loved what I saw from the defense. Spags cooked up a really good scheme. Love that. So week 1 and week 2, I saw improvements there. Week 1 to week 2, offensively, still not seeing it from the offense as far as running the ball. And hopefully Xavier Worthy is back this week, so we'll be able to see that. And also, too, Giants defense has been pretty rough, so this should be the week where you see some offensive firepower. I love the bomb that Pat threw to a Tyquan Thornton, so we do have that ability. Even without Xavier Worthy, you still got guys like Tyquan Thornton or speedsters who can get behind the defense. We'll love to see Hollywood Brown a little bit pushing the ball down the field with him. Not really seeing that at all with Hollywood. And Kelsey had a decent game. I know everyone's going to talk about that, the drop. Mahomes threw the ball a little early there. Kelsey still should have had it. But I thought Kelsey played a pretty solid game outside the drop. And I know that's the one thing everyone's going to highlight from this. But I got to see a little bit more from the running game and have any kind of balance with the offense. That's what I want to see going forward with this team.
Up Samoan, you're hosting again. All right, there we go. Andrew, let's call it over to you, man. What were your thoughts when watching that Chiefs game against the Eagles and seeing that they have now fallen to 0-2 on the season? We all know the percentage. Only 12% of teams all time have made the postseason after starting 0-2. The Chiefs also, if you look at that Super Bowl game, are now 0-3. What are your thoughts, Andrew?
Yeah, it's kind of the first. I think they popped a stat that said Mahomes hasn't been 0-3 since I think his time in college, which is crazy. So, look, hey, they're at the top of the mountain. And I'll just say this. The Eagles, I think, are one of the best teams in the NFL. Top 5 easily, right? I think they're fantastic, right? They built a great offense, great defense. They're a complete team, right? And bottom line, they know how to beat Kansas City and pretty much any team that they play up against, right? So I think KC should held their head up high, right? I think they did a good job. It's tough, right? 0-2. It's kind of nice for some KC fans to get a little humility, understand what it's like to lose a few football games here and there. But you guys will be fine. Andy Reid will get you guys going the right direction moving forward. Bottom line, I think it was a good game. I think Patrick Mahomes is great, but getting Worthy back would be a big thing for those guys specifically. But bottom line, look, they're going to be just fine. KC fans, the sky is not falling. You're going to be just fine. You'll be in the mix. We'll see what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah, Pat hasn't lost 3 straight since high school. It wasn't. College.
Was it high school? I thought it was college for some reason. Yeah, high school,
like freshman or sophomore year. Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
Cool. Marcus, does that scare you at all? Like real quick, just knowing that. It's knowing the statistic about starting 0-2 and knowing that he hasn't lost as many games since high school. Does this worry you at all?
Well, consecutive games because he lost plenty to Texas Tech. They weren't the best squad at Texas Tech. No, not really. I wouldn't say. I will say a bright spot wise, just 7 months ago, we got our asses kicked by the same team that we just lost to by 3 without our 2 top weapons. So silver lining there. Yes, it's a loss nonetheless, and pulling a silver lining with the team. But yeah, I mean, we just got our ass kicked by this team, and we played our asses off this weekend. Just came up short, you know.
Marcus, I want to get this one on the record real quick. Like I said earlier, only 12% of teams have made the postseason after starting 0-2. Do you think that the Chiefs are going to be one of those teams that does make the postseason despite the 0-2 start?
I mean, look, I think the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, were 0-2 last year, and I believe the Broncos were 0-2 to start the season last year. But I'm pretty sure the Ravens were 0-2 last year and they made the playoffs. So, yes, I mean, I think so. I mean, you're talking about the Chargers who would play us close every time we play them, no matter if we win the Super Bowl or not. They're always on our ass. And then the Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champs. So 2 tough games out the gate. I think we're going to get to an easy part of our schedule, and then we're going to get healthy with our receiving weapons. So, yeah, I'm not concerned at all. As long as we have number 15 back there. Now, if it's Gardner Minshew back there, if anything ever happens to Patrick Mahomes, then there's a different story. But as long as we have number 15, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll make the playoffs at least.
It's just good to not be a Bengals fan right now, right? So,
gosh, man.
Don't get me started on that.
There is a contingency of Bengals fans who say Browning is a pretty solid quarterback. I mean, I think he had he has the record for accuracy in a season.
Yep. Yeah,
man,
he did okay.
Joe Burrow, man. I mean, it's not even Joe Burrow's fault at this point. Like, let's all collectively agree it's the Bengals' fault for not putting an offensive line around a quarterback that 100%. Is a pocket passing quarterback. I never will understand those decisions. But Ryan, what were your thoughts on the Chiefs and Eagles game?
Listen, Chiefs may have lost, but like Marcus said, they only lost by 3 points, and you got the shit beaten out of them in the Super Bowl. So, I don't really view this as like a whole Chiefs are on the decline. Like, the game was close. They're missing weapons. So if anything, I see the Chiefs are kind of on the up once they get those players back as well. But I'm happy they're getting those losses right now. It doesn't help them regardless. The NFL is wins and losses. So, moral victories can only do you so much unless you lose. But yeah, I keep stacking those losses right now early in the season while those guys are gone. That's all I care about. Because I know once Worthy comes back and you guys get your weapons back, it's going to be a different story.
Yeah, certainly. And then, Simone, let's go on over to you. Wrap us up with this game. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I second Ryan and everybody else in here. Seeing L's for the Chiefs always feels good. I wouldn't press the panic button. I feel like as a Raider fan right now, we got a lot of shit that we're going through right now. And then after seeing the Chargers and seeing, okay, they seem like the real deal for right now. They look like a solid team. So that loss was understandable. And then, of course, like everybody else said, this Eagles team is one of the best, if not, I would say the best team in the NFL right now with all the pieces that they have offensively and defensively. So it was 2 really tough matchups for the Chiefs. Of course, going down 0-2 is one thing, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, if they lose this week against the Giants, then I feel like we could start questioning things, but I wouldn't even press the panic button on that right now. But it feels good to not be at the bottom for me, so I'll take that as I will,
One last thing. I'm just curious to get the panel's kind of feedback on this. What did you guys think of the tush push? I know it was the first time after a Chiefs game where we weren't the center of the officials are in their pockets. The whole false starts or before the tush push, and then their alignment too. I mean, what did you guys think about that?
I hate the tush push. It needs to be illegal. I absolutely cannot stand it. We had this whole argument on the Bolt Bros podcast about it. And it's got to go away. It's a complete cheat code for the Eagles, and it just pisses me off. So yeah, I'm not a fan.
Well, I really don't care unless they use it on us.
I just lost the game to a leverage call, so I think all these rules are bullshit, and so keep it.
So keep it. All right. What about you?
It's football. It's football. Let them hit each other. Let them.
I don't mind it.
I don't give a damn.
But then again, our team hasn't been affected by that. Like I know that the Chiefs, especially in the Super Bowl, have to deal with that and now. But I don't think until we're playing the Eagles and it starts becoming a Chico for us, then I'll really care. But right now,
if any other teams have proven anything, it's that it's not that easy. You have the Eagles are really good at doing it. The Eagles are really good at doing it. Other teams have tried it. It doesn't work all the time. They're just very good at doing it. So
that's the argument, yeah. And
I'm fine with a tush push. It's if the referees just call it legally, right? So there's no false start movement. I don't give a shit about the tush push.
That is true.
But that's the one thing. It's like, how are you not calling the false start aspect of it? Tush push is fine. The play's fine, but as far as calling it legally,
okay,
they're letting that go, and that's the part. Where it's, all right, call that at least.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's like you can't just start making rules because a team figured out how to perfect something and got really good at something. Like, oh, are we gonna ban wide receivers that run like really fast 40s just because Patrick Mahomes could just lob it up to Tyreek Hill all the time? And it's like, oh, that's a cheat code. No,
for sure.
It's just because they have a skill at something. Why should we ban it?
Yeah. No, that's fine. I was saying it's already a tough play to stop, and now you're adding that extra element of the guys to move early on, and they're not calling it. That's the part.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
Leverage for certain.
Maybe they just need to inspect those plays a lot more when they're
not being done. How we feel with the referees.
It was a rough week, man. It was a rough week for refs. Man.
I love this guy. I'm joking.
It was a rough week for refs league wide, man. So it's certainly frustrating there. But I mean, like Ryan said, you're not going to say, "Hey, Lamar Jackson, stop running the football." You got to be a pocket passing quarterback just because he excels at it. So you certainly understand that the back and forth when it comes to the tush push. But let's go ahead and let's transition on into the next game, the in-division game of the week. Andrew, let's start off with you. How were you guys able to remain victorious and go 2-0 versus the in-division rival Raiders?
It wasn't too difficult. I mean, let's just make it very clear. I'm going to give the Raider fans a positive sandwich. You guys know what that is. I'm going to give you some positive. I'm going to give you some negative. And I'm going to give you some positive. Okay. Positive, you finally have an actual coaching staff running that organization, right? So you should be very proud of what you can be in 2 or 3 years. You do actually have a good head coach, of course, and a good coaching staff. You drafted well. Here's the reality, and you guys need to pay attention to this in the chat. You don't have the players to be a really competitive team. Let's make this very clear. There's probably only 10 teams in the NFL that will actually be competitive to win a Super Bowl. That's it. Top 10. If you're not top 10, you get a consolation prize. You get a little ribbon for a participation trophy. And that's the reality of the NFL, unfortunately, guys. But at the end of the day, Raiders are going to be relevant in 2 to 3 years because the coaching staff, Pete Carroll, will get them where they need to be. So having said that, that's a little dose of reality for Raiders fans. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But one thing I will say, the defense was stout. I think we've only averaged allowing 15 points per game. Last year, we averaged letting 17 points a game for the opposing offense. We actually led the league in defensive takeaways and also points scored off the defense, which is pretty amazing. This game, we only scored 3 points off of our 3 turnovers. So that was good for the Raiders. But again, Justin Herbert cooked. I mean, he was really bad to begin with. He was 1 for 5, and then he ended up with 242 yards, 2 touchdowns. Unfortunately, Justin Herbert was our leading rusher, which is still unfortunate. We need to get that rushing game going. Quentin Johnson is finally learned how to catch a football. That deep passing was 63 yards, I think is what it was for that touchdown. Absolutely amazing. Third and Keenan. Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen are just looking sharp as ever, and Ladd McConkey's great. Trey Harris was actually out there as well, too, our second-round pick this year. He's actually looked absolutely amazing. And that 32-yard pass, 2 feet into the sidelines, again, we're not even getting the rookies that we drafted this year on the field because a lot of the people we have ahead of them are playing so well. We haven't even seen Oronde Gadsden, our 5th-round tight end that everyone talked about in camp. He hasn't even gotten on the field once. So, Will Dissly's looked pretty good as well, too. But defensively, I'll just say Deion Henley looked amazing. He was going to be a scratch. Apparently, he had the flu the day of, but he ended up with that interception. First throw in the game, he got that interception, which was absolutely amazing. He had 7 tackles, 3 assists, and 1 sack. He is going to make the Pro Bowl this year. Deion Henley, I'm telling you right now, he is the most underrated linebacker in the league right now. Tarheeb Still, another underrated guy. 7 tackles, 2 assists. A cornerback, absolutely stud. Tuli Pelotu is an amazing edge rusher, really just does the dirty work. And look, I just can't say enough about the offense and defense. They played great today. They can definitely improve in a lot of different areas, of course. Obviously, the rushing game is really where they need to improve the most. But I think that offensive line is going to take some time to gel. But again, not any shade on the Raider fans. I'm just saying, just be realistic about your team and understand that, look, it's going to take a few years for Pete Carroll and that coaching staff to get the right people to be successful. But you're definitely at this moment punching above your weight, in my opinion. So just my thoughts in that game.
Let's go on over to Samoan, the other half of this game. And Samoan, I want you to utilize this opportunity to just vent, go off about the team, man. I mean, look, you lost to an in-division rival. You guys had all this promise after week 1, man. Like, Samoan, go off, man. Just go off about the team.
Man, well, first and foremost, man, I feel like this game, it could have definitely been a game that could have been competitive, but the Raiders just never made it competitive throughout. And I don't think there's any shade taken because, I didn't expect this team to go win the Super Bowl. I think as a biased Raider fan, for sure. But as a realistic Raider fan, I feel like for me, going into the season with Pete Carroll, I just want to see more competitive games. And last week, we got to see a competitive game with the Patriots. And this week's game, even though like the score was just 20-9, we just couldn't get anything going. The first play of the game, Geno Smith throws an interception. Of course, it was tipped up in the air. Now, two interceptions of the day was tipped up in the air. One of them, he was just trying to make a play. It is what it is. But like I said earlier, the offense didn't get anything going. Defense gave us some plays. I will credit the defensive line because they played pretty solid. The secondary definitely gave up some big plays. When I needed Quentin Johnson to drop a ball, he didn't want to. He just wanted to score, but it's all good. Like I said, going back to the offensive side of the ball, I feel like, I understand when people say we don't got a lot of weapons offensively. I feel like we do have the players here. I just don't think that it's well put together. And I feel like it would have been a different story if Brock Bowers was 100%, but this goes to show that, say if Brock Bowers wasn't in there, could this be a big problem for the Raiders moving forward? Who's going to be the next man to step up? I know Jacoby Myers was the number one receiving weapon on the day. Dante Thornton barely got utilized. I know that Geno kept trying to make plays, got intercepted right before half. We had no running game at all. Jency did look pretty solid here and there, had a couple of highlights, but at the end of the day, it wasn't really a big factor, to free up things. And in the offensive line, like that definitely, I feel like was one of the biggest things that I'm worried about with this team moving forward. Because if we can't fix that offensive line or figure out the right players to put on that offensive line, it's going to be a long, long season for us yet again. Last week, I think we got by making some big plays, and there was a lot of plays in this game that I felt like Geno Smith tried to make those big throws. It just didn't happen for us. And credit to the Chargers, they did their thing, man. And as much shit that we talk about the Chargers, I really got to give them their props because I think this year, if any, they look like one of the most complete teams. And yeah, I'm not worried about the team just yet because I feel like it was one really bad week and we played a really good team. I mean, a Chargers team that is better than us and probably a year or two ahead of us within getting to, the competition, or I don't know how I'm trying to say it, but like they're ahead of us competing in the league. And right now we're just trying to figure everything out. So embarrassing game, like I said earlier, with the Raider fans showing up, it just sucks to be there and just see the team just throw up a dud like this. And this is where like my stress levels start rising up during the season. So hopefully this week we could get right back into the win column. But I can't really say anything bad about the Chargers other than we'll see them in LA and hopefully we could win that one.
Hey, man, well, you're my prayers. You're my prayers. I don't want your stress levels to get too high. I know what that's like on any given Sunday, man. I know what that's like, man. I mean, let me tell you, I'm going from like balls to the wall this week. And last week I was depressed and I didn't talk to anybody for like 3 days. So,
my bad. One thing I forgot to bring up is the thing that was pissing me off at the end of the game. Like we couldn't just lose and fast. Like if we were going to lose, just lose. Well, I think it was like 5 minutes left. Geno Smith threw an interception and then we got a fumble. Like, I mean, I think Max Crosby forced the fumble. We got the ball right back. I was like, oh shit, we got a chance just for them to throw just to go forward now again. I'm like, damn, man, this team just doesn't know when to lose when they want to lose.
They're blue balling you, Samoan. That's all. You right when you think they got hope. They're blue balling. That's that's what teams do. That's what teams do. But it's all right. It's all right. It's only week 3, man. Big shout out to Richie Fresh who comes in here with a $2 donation and says, Chiefs finally getting humbled. Colby, please check DM Richie. I will definitely do that. But let's go ahead and let's get the final thoughts here on this game. Ryan, let's go on over to you. What were your thoughts?
Listen, I was watching the game and damn, Chargers looked really good. And then I got a little tired of watching it after I saw Justin Herbert throw that deep touchdown to Johnson. And I was like, all right, I'm going to turn this off. So then this morning I woke up. I was kind of surprised you guys didn't put more belt to ass on them. And it was only 20-9 or whatever. Yeah, 20-9. So honestly, Chargers, I expected a little bit more. But shout out to the Chargers for making Geno Smith look like a bum, because I truly believe he's a bum. Obviously, he's better than whatever you had before, but he is a bum. Like, let's just get that out. He'd be a solid backup QB. But 3 interceptions, 180 yards, 43 passing, and then Ashton Jeanty only has 43 yards. Ashton Jeanty, what's going on with him? Like, I know he's a rookie, but first-round pick, Everyone thought he was going to win the Heisman. And then I saw a clip of Genty I think Geno was scrambling and Genty was just like jogging behind Geno while there was like 3 guys running after him. What are you doing? What are you doing? And maybe that's not on him. That's more on coaching. But I feel like maybe just once you're in the NFL, you have the football instinct to try to block for your quarterback and give him some time. So that was very odd. I don't know what the hell is going there in Las Vegas. You guys only had fans show up because you're playing the Chargers. So just thought I'd throw that shot out there as well. But overall, I mean, entertaining game. I'll say that. But Chargers look solid. Raiders look like the Raiders, and I'm happy with the result for the most part.
I wouldn't say that Geno bummed, though. I think he's still better than Bo Nix, though. It was just one game, though. So I wouldn't.
I think look, Andrew and Marcus both looked at you. Said, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, it's one game, bro. One game, and it was not because
it's not like Geno's in his second year. He definitely hasn't played for damn near like 10 years and done like nothing in the NFL.
No, because we don't count anything that happened before Seattle.
13, damn.
13. We don't count that though. We don't count that because we only count in Seattle though. But then after that,
so if you don't count that, then I might as well just like bring back Drew Lock because we don't count his years from the past either. But we know how that's going to turn out.
Who, Drew Lock? But he don't play for y'all though.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. Not only because we were playing the Chargers, of course, it's not gonna be a lot of Chargers fans coming, but I feel like this was like a big game for both teams. Obviously, we didn't win, but like I said, kudos to the Chargers. This was almost like a playoff atmosphere, but they took the dub though.
But pretty sure it was actually fans in the stands, or not just black empty seats, not filled with opposing fans.
No. There's fans there. Don't worry about that. We had fans there.
Don't worry about it. All right.
We good, man. We good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're all in Oakland. Yeah, I know you guys have fans, but they're all in Oakland.
Oh man.
And LA too.
Let us know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Are you taking Geno at quarterback, or are you taking Bo Nix at quarterback? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, they're gonna say something out of spite. You're not gonna bait me. You're not gonna bait me.
Maybe we even put up a poll in the chat and we see who the chat's gonna take. But Marcus, let's go on up to you, man. Wrap us up with this game. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts were Chargers, great defense, made me feel better about the performance we had last week without Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. Chargers defense is phenomenal. What was been already said, the running game for the Chargers, I know, speaking as a Chiefs fan, I'm kind of concerned about the amount Mahomes is running. It's a little different because we didn't really invest in our running backs at all. We still have Pacheco, Kareem Hunt is 35, and a 7th-round rookie, whereas Chargers drafted Hampton High. They brought in Najee Harris for a 1-year, like $7 million deal in incentives. They did invest in the running back situation, so it is kind of worrisome that they are running Herbert as much as they are. So I think that's something that they're going to have to figure out. But their pass protection, man, like – I was pissed off that we couldn't get to Herbert. And then this week, you see the Raiders couldn't get to Herbert. I mean, there was times where Crosby was doing a kind of a one-man show back there. But for the most part, he kind of had all day to do his thing back there. So that was the Chargers side of things. The Raiders, I think we're coming out of this game with the one storyline from the Raiders, and it had to do with this game, is the fact that Chip Kelly admitted that he's talking to Tom Brady 3 times a week. And that's the one storyline we're talking about with the Raiders, which that therein lies a problem with him, getting the kind of scouting report from every team before, talking to Chip Kelly about helping him out with his offense. But no, I thought Geno Smith was pressing a little bit much last night. I thought he was taking shots where he didn't have to take shots. He doesn't throw that pick to Derwin James, to Jacoby Myers. You got a field goal there. You get the ball back. You could try to drive down and score and tie this game. But instead, you're just throwing it up there for no reason. And also, too, Derwin James, where do we get? I mean, how does Derwin James kind of get this realm to kind of mug receivers? I mean, the guy barely plays. I don't know where he's getting that. The referees allowing him to do that. I didn't like that at all. And then you had the commentators praising Derwin James the entire time. I mean, he's blatantly mugging these dudes out there. And as a Chiefs fan, I've seen him mug Travis Kelce. So he gets away with it. I don't know how the officials allow that, but nonetheless, Chargers defense is the real deal. And we need to figure out what's going on with Tom Brady and talking to Chip Kelly about game plans and stuff.
Oh, yeah, he was up there in the coaching booth, too.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's a real coach out there. No longer an owner.
Some shady stuff going on.
They need to kick his ass out the booth if that's how our offense is going to look after last week. Man. That's what I will say.
Like, I don't want to be associated.
But as far I didn't even bring up the referee situation because there was like 3 different drives where they was acting like some hoes out there. But it's all good. I ain't gonna bring that up though. But we lost. That's what happened at the end of the day though. But
well, you guys let us know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. And let's go ahead and let's get on to the final game before we start getting into the week 3 previews. And that is the Denver Broncos losing to Indiana Jones and the Colts. Ryan, let's give you the floor. What happened here in a game that I think a lot of people projected the Broncos to win?
Broncos offense was doing great all game. The defense, on the other hand, could not get a stop. This is the second week in a row that we've given up points on the opening drive. Couldn't get them off the field. Jonathan Taylor running all over us in the run game, pass game. Tyler Warren getting balls all over the place. He's open. He's very good. Michael Pittman. Everyone was getting fed by Danny Dimes, man. I didn't know what the hell was going on in front of me. Our guys couldn't tackle. It seemed like defense just wasn't putting pressure. We only had 1 sack after we had like 6 on Cam Ward the week before. It was just a complete flip-flop from the week before. Offense was cooking. We were running the ball, getting first downs, getting down the field, touchdown to open up the second half, touchdown to open up the game. And then the fourth quarter hit, and then penalties, offensive face mask from Troutman, kind of that really spiraled the momentum down. And from there, everything kind of went to shit. But Bo in the offense was persevering. They still got in field goal range. And then Will Lutz misses a field goal. Could have put us up by 5. And then, all right, defense, it's time for you guys to get a stop. And they kind of get a stop. It's a 6-yard field goal. And then we get a leverage call, a BS leverage call. When do they call that? They never call that. We had, I think it was DeAndre Tillman, like a interior defensive lineman, they called for leverage. His big ass is not trying to jump over the line. He's not trying to do that. So that was garbage, and that's a 15-yard penalty. So it goes from a 60-yarder to a 45, and then kicker bangs that through. But, of course, I was already celebrating on the first kick, thought we won, so that was embarrassing. But, I mean, overall, if I'm going to take any moral victories from this, offense looked so much better. Bo looked comfortable. Him and Troy Franklin, man. I told you guys, Troy Franklin was going to be that wide receiver 2 this year. He could end up moving up in targets and become wide receiver 1 just based on how comfortable Bo's been getting throwing to him, especially times of distress. I watched back the tape of I think it was like a 50-yard pass from Bo to Troy, and Bo was scrambling, and Troy was just running a little out route. He stopped, and he saw Bo starting to scramble. He turned it up the field, got open, and then and got the ball and got a big gain for us. And I think that's something that I have not seen any of our receivers do in the past couple of years, is that scramble drill. Sutton sucks in scramble drill. All the other guys, no names. They're practice squad guys and backup. So a lot of good to take away from it. Defense, I think they've proven that they can clean things up, and they didn't have a great game. But so I'm not worried about anything, and I'm just ready to take on the Chargers now.
On to the Chargers, man. What a good mindset to be in, Ryan. Okay. Good.
Wish we would have won it. Like, it's annoying looking at it because you never know at the end of the season. It's like, damn, if we had that one game, like, that's what kind of annoys me. So it would have been nice to still, like, come out of there with an ugly win. But, like, listen, I predicted, like, what did I say, 31 to like 12 or 10 or something. So the points were almost there. It would have been 31 if Les didn't miss the field goal. And then I just didn't expect the defense to completely crap the bed for this game. So, if based on the expectations the defense has had, they should have probably held them below 15 points. I mean, if your team scores like 30 points, damn near 30 points, it's really going to be on the defense for most of that game.
Well, guys, we have over 150 people watching live right now on YouTube alone. So we should have at least 100 likes on the video right now, but we only got about 30. So everybody, do us a favor, leave a like on the video. Helps us get out there in the YouTube algorithm. It tells YouTube that this channel is worth putting out there. So do us a favor, leave a like on the video, and consider hyping up some of our videos here on the channel if you guys really want to support us here at the AFC West Roundtable. But Samoan, let's go on over to you. What were your thoughts on the Broncos losing to the Colts?
I mean, I was kind of surprised because I actually was thinking that they were going to win. Of course, you know, that controversial call at the end of the game was kind of surprising, but of course, it put a smile to my face because now I guess we're both sitting at 1-1. So we're kind of like the same team, right? Just a little bit.
Hell no. Don't say that.
yeah, but we still in the same place no matter what. But, you know, I think it was just a surprising game overall. That their offense, I will say, looked a lot better this week than last week because I think he still played worse than what Geno Smith did this week. But
what? No.
Overall, I think
way better.
I think it is, you know, it is what it is. They lost, and that's just the main thing I take away from that.
All right, short, simple, sweet.
We are not the same. We are not the same.
Hey man, we 1-1, man.
You're 1-1 though.
We gotta embrace it, dog. We gotta embrace it. You know, Bo had one bad week, one good week. Gino had one bad week, one good week.
Yeah, I understand that.
Simone got that arm around you, Ryan, but you trying to push it off.
Yeah, what's going
on right now?
Don't drag me down there. Don't associate.
I'm trying to drag you up with us, man.
Yeah,
drag you up.
Come on, man.
It's free therapy, Ryan. That's free therapy.
No.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Well,
Therapy's expensive these days. You got Simone. That's all you need. But let's go on up to you, Marcus. What were your takeaways from the game?
I think I was the lone guy on the show last week to say the Colts were going to win this game. There's something about Indianapolis. The last seven times Broncos went there was 1-6 in Indianapolis. Now last 8 times, so 1-7 now. So it's just an interesting thing. I don't understand what Indianapolis has over the AFC West, but I know as a Chiefs fan, they've dominated us at Indianapolis over the years. No matter how good we have been. I thought it was. The big thing for me was it was a silver lining after we lost to see the Broncos lose. That was just nice to see. But the fact that the defense looked as rough as it did, Jonathan Taylor kind of had his way with the Broncos, which I thought was interesting. We don't have a running back like Jonathan Taylor, so I don't know how it's going to really impact us. But you kind of see the defense isn't what we thought it was going to be going into the season. It's what the Chargers defense is what we thought the Broncos defense was going to be. So I think that's interesting. Bo Nix, I mean, Troy Franklin. The fact that you guys got him as late as you did in the draft last year is nuts. I mean, I don't know how he went because he was supposed to be like a day 2 guy, and then he went to I think day 3. So it's interesting that you guys got him, and so seeing that kind of play out. But yeah, the big thing that I thought was interesting that J.K. Dobbins has kind of taken on the entire role, and I thought R.J. Harvey was going to have a bigger week this week just because how good he looked last week. So Dobbins looking good in that role until he pulls his hamstring like he how he usually gets hurt. But I think it was an interesting loss. But again, still early to see what the Broncos really are. The Colts are just one of those teams that a lot of people didn't see coming, but here we are.
Certainly. I mean, look, I feel like we see these teams every single year where there's teams we project to be good and they suck in the beginning of the season, and teams nobody saw coming. They're good in the beginning of the season, and then reality starts to set in kind of the midway of the season. So it's really, people say overreaction week 1, but it's really overreaction month 1, month 2. So we'll start getting a better idea about the NFL more midway through. Right now, it's still kind of everybody trying to figure out, what exactly they are.
Yeah, that's why I'm not worried about the defense. To your point, Marcus, like we thought they're going to come out looking like how the Chargers are right now, but knowing Vance Joseph, and I've gone to a few Vance Joseph games now with this dude at defensive coordinator. When it happens, I'm just not surprised, but I'm also not worried because I know then we're going to go on a streak of like 6 to 8 games of just like the best defense I've ever seen. So not right away, maybe like by week 4 or so, week 5, but it happens. I'm not too worried about it, but I didn't expect them to, come out the gate defensively looking all locked in, especially with how many new pieces we got. Like there's new safety. Dre Greenlaw's still not in. We got backup linebackers in right now. So yeah.
Certainly still a lot of pieces to come together for Denver there. But Andrew, what were your thoughts on this game to wrap us up?
Yeah, no, my brother James, the other Bolt Bro that comes on this show, he just made a comment. Colts haven't punted this season, which is incredible. Shane Steichen actually was a coach for the Chargers a long time back. I can't remember how long ago, but he actually has proved himself to be a very good head coach for the Colts. And I'll just say this, like they arguably could be one of the best teams in the league right now. I mean, look at the stats. They're scoring 31 points a game. The only team better than that is the Bills. So at 35 points a game, right? Defensively, they're only giving up 18 points a game. So You could argue all day that they're a speed bump team or a rollover team, but ain't nobody rolling over the Colts, at least right now. We'll see how it goes. I think picking up Lou Anarumo from the Bengals was a really good decision for Shane Steichen, and that defense is just. Hey, 2 games, they balled out both games. So, I mean, look, you can't feel bad. I think the Chargers play them in, October or September? Or I think it's October, September. We're already done with that almost. But I think it's October when we play them. So we'll see how we fare against the Colts at that point. But, look, bottom line, I think it was a good game. What I want to know, though, Ryan, is what happened when there was an argument on the sidelines with Bo Nix and the head coach. What was that all about? Did you find out what the situation is? There trouble in paradise? What's going on there with the head coach and Bo Nix? Because it seemed like they got a little heated on the sidelines.
So basically, this doesn't happen with all QBs, especially definitely not with like a lot of Chargers QBs. Yeah. Some QBs just like naturally have a big set of balls, and that's what Bo has. So when Sean tells him something and Bo's like, no, this is what I saw, I'm right, he's going to tell him. So that's basically what happened. There's no trouble in paradise. Bo he's on his shit, and he not going to take shit. He's going to give it back.
That sounds like there's trouble in paradise. Yeah, you verify.
There's no trouble in paradise. I don't know if there's no trouble in paradise. Everything's good.
Give him a little more therapy there, Samoan. I appreciate that. No, that's good.
Oh, no, there's no trouble in paradise. Why is it that when we see guys argue, like it's football? Like, did they say like there's trouble in paradise when like Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday were yelling at each other? No, they won a Super Bowl and they're all good. So this is what happens in football. It's heated. There's a lot of emotion going on. And Sean, honestly, it looked like Bo was right about whatever the hell he was saying, because Sean just kind of walked off like, yeah, all right, like you're good. So I don't know. I trust Bo. He's a smart football player, and they have a disagreement on something. I mean, that's why Sean loves him so much. I mean, I'd rather have him yell back at him than see Russ just stare there like a robot and not digest anything that's being said to him.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess we'll find out later on, won't we?
We certainly
it's better if Bo's yelling at Sean than Sean just yelling at Bo, because Bo has yelled at Sean even last week as well. He yelled at him to get the play in on time or something. So you know what that shows me? My quarterback's in control. He knows what he's doing, and he's demanding perfection. So when perfection doesn't happen, he gets a little frustrated. But it's all what happens when your team has high expectations.
So Bo knows what he's doing, but the head coach doesn't know what he's doing?
I didn't say that. I don't know what they talked about.
Right, or what are we talking about here?
As long as he doesn't become a diva, Ryan, that's all you need. But guys, let's go ahead.
That's my
Bo's the furthest thing from a diva. No,
and that's all you need, Ryan. That's all you need. But fellas, let's go ahead. We got about 10 minutes left here. Let's transition into these previews and predictions for week 3. Before we do that, though, do want to give a big shout out to the other sponsor of the channel over at RotoWire. The only way to dominate your fantasy leagues year in and year out. Make sure you guys go ahead and check them out using code RTS. That is RTS to get 15% off. There's only one way to guarantee that you are going to win your league, and that is with RotoWire. Great thing about RotoWire is that they are a plugin for whatever draft source you're using, whether that is Sleeper, whether that is ESPN, whether that's the NFL Fantasy app. No matter what source you're using, you can use RotoWire. What you do is you are going to build your draft plan with RotoWire based off of what you personally prefer. In the early rounds, do you want to play it safe, keep it balanced, or aim for upside? I like to play it safe. Middle rounds, I like to keep it balanced. And then in the late rounds, I like to aim for the most possible upside with my players on the bench. It's going to ask you, are you comfortable going and reaching for players that you really like? In the early rounds, I like to go ahead and I like to stick to go ahead and get my guys in the middle rounds. I like to keep it balanced. In the late rounds, I like to stick to the average draft projections. And then in the later portion here of RotoWire, they're going to ask you what factors matter most to you when you are drafting. Does the consistency of a player matter most to you? I know it does for me. Does a player's age matter most to you? Not really for me, but a player's overall performance from last year does matter to me. So cool thing too about RotoWire is they're going to let you know while you're drafting, hey, this player will not be there by your next pick. So if you want him, draft him now, but it will also filter the best players at each position, from quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, all that good stuff, to make sure that you get the best possible players throughout your fantasy draft. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out RotoWire, link in bio. But fellas, let's go ahead. Let's get back here to these games. And I want to start off here with the Kansas City Chiefs and the New York Giants. It feels like an opportunity for the Kansas City Chiefs to get right. I know that, Marcus, you kind of alluded to that a little bit earlier. So what is your projection for this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be a bounce back game. I know we talked about earlier that, like, first two games against the Chargers, against the Eagles, that's not panic mode yet. But if you are losing to the Giants, then you say panic mode, 100%. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But we opened up as a 5.5-point favorite. We are now a 6.5-point favorite. Everyone's taking the Chiefs to win this game on Sunday Night Football. I mean, look, I'm talking about the offense. The Giants' defense was horrendous against the Cowboys last week, allowed 40 points. The week prior against the Commanders, 21-6. The thing about that is, Commanders' worst part about them was they're supposed to be their defense, but they only allowed them to score 6 points in that game. So this is a spot where I think we could actually dominate. We could actually see a high-scoring affair from the Chiefs. And also, too, look at the run game. Javonte Williams dominated the Giants on the ground last week. The week prior, Bill Merritt dominated the Giants on the ground as well. So this could be the week where we see either Pacheco or Kareem Hunt or even Brashard Smith come out and do their thing. Also, with the Giants, that pass rush between Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Thibodeau, they got a lot of guys over there defensively. So going to see how the offensive line holds up, too. But I think we easily cover the spread of 6.5 this week.
All right, I like it. Taking the Kansas City Chiefs to get right. Andrew, are you also going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to get right?
Yeah. I mean, they should smoke them. I mean, look, like I said, I still think the Chiefs are top 5 team. I mean, even with not having, the weapons that they've lost so far, Worthy and a few others. I mean, Worthy might even be back this week, but Rashid Rice, like, they're still a great team. They really are. But the Giants, that's a team, and I don't see much there. So, yeah, they should win hands down, in my opinion, by 10 would be my prediction.
So by multiple possessions is what we're expecting from this Kansas City Chiefs win. Ryan, you think this is also a get right game?
I think this is one of those random games that we're going to look back on and be like, what the hell? And the Giants are going to win. I don't think Russ is that good. I mean, he had some nice throws, and I think he'll get lucky with some of those deep throws to Malik Neighbors, those 50-50 balls. Same thing we saw like last year with him and George Pickens, but then ultimately later in the year, he can't do anything. But I don't know, just in my gut, I just feel that somehow the Giants are going to pull it out because we're looking at both of them 0-2 right now. But that's my gut. But if I probably had to put money on it, I would say the Chiefs. But I'm going to say my gut's telling me the Giants right now. There's really like nothing like football related about it. Russ had a solid game against the Cowboys. The Cowboys aren't the Chiefs, but still, like, he threw for over 300 yards. He still got some life in him. Just wasn't meant in Denver. But yeah, I think the Giants can pull this out.
Wow. So a potential upset here from Ryan. First one who definitely thinks that there is at least a chance the Giants can come out with this win. Samoan, which way are you going? Are you going to go with Marcus and Andrew? Or are you feeling some of that hot take from Ryan?
Man, I definitely I'm betting on the Chiefs to take this one. Now, I will say that I hope it's a high scoring game, and I feel like it can be. I feel like it's going to go back and forth throughout the whole game. But at the end of the day, I think the Chiefs pull this one out and they bounce back. I just want a high scoring game just because I have a lot of Giants players on my fantasy. So I think it's going to be a good one, but I think we finally see the Chiefs get back into the win column this week.
See the Chiefs get back in the win column. Simone, who the heck do you have on your fantasy team that is a Giant? Are you winning your fantasy game?
Malik Neighbors, dog.
Okay, well, outside of Malik Neighbors, who you got on your fantasy team that's a Giant? You got Russ on your squad?
No, that was it. That was just Malik Neighbors.
Oh, that was it? That was just one? Okay.
Let's not knock Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson's pretty solid.
Okay, that's fair.
That's
fair.
I need Neighbors to score at least 3 touchdowns. We saw it.
There you go. So just, McDuffie.
Just for fantasy purposes.
A couple blown coverages, maybe. Help out our guy Samoan. But let us know your guys' thoughts on the game in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and let's get into the next game, the in-division game of the week. We got the Denver Broncos and we got the Chargers. Andrew, let's start with you. What are you projecting to happen in this game?
Chargers victory, of course. But I mean, look, here's the thing. Denver's a great team. I will take nothing away from Denver. They have a good defense. They are going to be fine. Like I've said, like I truly believe the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos are going to be in the playoffs this year. But this will be a fun game. And the Bolt Bros will be there with the Bolt Sis. So we're going to have a good time. I hop on a plane on Friday. I'll be out there for the game. So I'll be there cheering at SoFi. And hit up that tailgate, guys. I'll tell you right now, the Chargers know how to tailgate. I'm not joking. The tailgate is absolutely incredible. And, man, Electric Avenue, Thunder Alley is just going to be lit. So, and even Bronco fans are welcome. I mean, so, you guys want to come down, get a free taco, have a good time. Who knows? Jim Harbaugh might be down there as well, too, saying hi to the fans. So, I think the Chargers will pull this one out. It'll be a close one for sure. So, I'm excited for this game.
Andrew's taking the Chargers. Let's go down to Ryan. Ryan, do you think this is a game that the Denver Broncos can take to get right, win a game in the division, or is this another one that you guys fall to, and that's back-to-back losses?
I think if we can stop the run, in which the Chargers haven't been able to do over the course of the 2 games, we have a very, very good chance of winning because Justin Herbert hasn't really passed all that much on us. It's mostly been the running game that's completely torched us, but they haven't been that good at it this year so far. But we haven't been able to win in SoFi. I don't think we've won in SoFi at all, at least playing the Chargers. Kevin Harlan's calling the game as well, if I'm correct. He called last week's game. He called the game against the Bengals. He called the game against the Chiefs last year where we got the kick block. So that dude's got a lot of bad juju when he calls our game, so that doesn't make me feel good. Honestly, I think the Chargers will win this game. Like I said, we just don't win in LA for some reason. But if we do, it's because we won the run battle. So ultimately, I'm gonna give this one to the Chargers as much it's gonna pain me. Then all the Herbert and Bo Nix debate will be at a all-time high, which will be annoying. Depending, how both of them play. Bo Nix could throw 4 touchdowns, and then he's still gonna get called shit just because everyone hates him for some reason. And go look at fucking Penix right now. He blows, but no one wants to hear that. No one wants to talk about Penix or anybody else. Just Bo Nix. So whatever, man. We'll probably take this loss, and then it'll be up from there.
Wow. So Ryan is also taking the Chargers, which means we got back-to-back Chargers wins. Samoan, are you also going to make it 3 out of 3 and take the Chargers?
Man, I think this is definitely going to be one of those games that, it doesn't really matter what the record is. It's going to be an AFC West rivalry game. And I know that the Broncos struggled offensively week 1. They struggled defensively week 2. But even as complete as the Chargers are right now, even if Ryan's not going to go for them, I feel like the Broncos could pull this one out.
Damn.
This week. It's just one of those games, and then I feel like it would be nice to see the Chargers get knocked down to earth, and then we could all be 2-1 after next week. So
that'd be nice.
That'd be pretty nice right there. So we have the same problem in SoFi too. So I'm just gonna go for the Broncos this week because I have a little feeling that they could pull the upset this week.
See, Ryan, you got a great therapist there. That's free. That's free therapy there for you, buddy. Good job.
It's called manipulation. That's what that is.
Yeah, and I thought about that too. Ryan tried to take all the hype off of him right now so he can win. He's like, I don't want none of that hype. Don't worry, I'm gonna hype you up again.
Nah, dude. In my gut, I don't think we're gonna win just because of how hot the Chargers have looked. And we still are figuring out some things. But I never know with these guys. I legitimately never know. They can just randomly turn it on and then they're just really good one game. But it seemed like Harbaugh's had Sean Payton's number over the past couple of years now. And we just haven't been able to figure things out. We did last year, and what was it? No, it was in SoFi. The first half we were doing really good, and then everything just fell apart. Kind of like how it did in the Colts game. Kind of like that. So if we're firing on all cylinders, I think we definitely can win this game, but if the Chargers are as well, then you never know. But in my gut,
come on, Ryan, you got to believe, man.
I think he could have a great game. It could be the same thing as the Colts. He could have a great game, and then the defense is just gonna let the run game just slice right through them. Let Herbert pick them apart. I don't know if Dre Greenlaw plays. Then I think I'll pick the Broncos just because he's going to bring a whole different level of juice. He'll be able to help protect that middle of the field like he typically does, and slow down the Chargers offense because, gosh, those linebackers were so bad against the Colts. They were so bad, so bad.
Yeah.
So what about you, Marcus? Who are you taking? Are you going to take the Denver Broncos? You're going to ride with Samoan here, make it an even split, or are you going to take the Chargers?
I'm probably going to go with the Broncos in this one. Just looking at my logic last week for taking the Raiders over the Chargers. We're looking at the spread of that game. It's very similar. So I think the Raiders were a 3.5-point dog at home against the Chargers. This week, Broncos are a 2.5-point dog against the Chargers. And I'll say this. It's an AFC West game, so this could go either way. But I do think 3 straight AFC West opponents for the Chargers. I mean, that's a lot of like high pressure games. The 3 straight divisional opponents, that's crazy. I also say, just looking at this, the one thing that does take away from that is the last 5 games at home against the Broncos. Chargers are 4-1, so that's not the best. But I do think coming off a loss. I think Sean Payton will have the guys for locked up for this game. I think I'm probably going to bet on the Broncos. So yeah, I'm going to go Broncos in this one.
Wow, so an even split down the middle. Our Denver Broncos creator Ryan even taking his squad to lose there. So split down the middle. But Ryan, do you feel any different yet? You feeling any different after hearing those guys take your team? Like, you know what? If
Dre Greenlaw plays, I'll take the Broncos. But if he doesn't, I don't trust Singleton. This dude just, after his ACL injury, he just does not look the same whatsoever. So he's a liability out there. And we need more depth there. We need new guys there. So hopefully if Greenlaw plays, I'll take Broncos. But as of right now, I don't know. Kind of up in the air.
All righty, guys. Well, let us know.
Last 10 games between the two is 5-5. So it's pretty split.
Oh. Anyone's game. So let us know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And let's go ahead and let's get into the final game here of the AFC West for week 3. And that is the Raiders taking on the Commanders. Now, Samoan, feels like the Commanders maybe not as a hot to the start of the 2025 season as maybe some projected that they would. So certainly a game that you guys could be in. Do you feel the same way?
Definitely feel the same way. I feel like this could be a bounce back game for us this week, especially playing a tough Chargers team that we did on Monday night. And I feel like a lot of the turnovers and all the mistakes that we made really bit us in the ass throughout the whole game. And I feel like the Raiders can bounce back. I don't think that Geno Smith is really that bad of a quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. I would say top 12 in the NFL. Not saying he's elite or trash, but I feel like he's going to clean up his act. And I feel like this defense has been a big surprise to me so far this season, the way that they've been bending but not breaking at all, and just giving our offense a chance to make plays. What we seen on Monday night was just the fact that we weren't able to connect on any of those big plays. And hopefully we do get JPJ back and Brock Bowers at 100% this week. And even if Jaden Daniels is not playing this week, then that's going to be I think that's going to be another thing that could help this defense out, just apply pressure to the quarterback. But I have a good feeling. I'll keep it short and sweet. I feel like the Raiders can bounce back and will bounce back this week and get back into the win column in an away game with the Commanders.
Ooh, a get-right game. I mean, it feels like I said, I mean, this isn't a team that's undefeated yet this season, but it certainly feels like if you're able to beat a team that almost went to the Super Bowl last year, can give you some of that momentum. So definitely an opportunity here for the Raiders. Marcus, let's go on up to you. What are your thoughts on the Raiders and the Commanders?
It's the Marcus Mariota revenge game, man. He's going to come back and I mean, it's a 3.5-point spread. Looks like everyone and their mom is taking the Commanders. 90% of the public money is on the Commanders in this game. But I don't think the schedule makers were the best with the Raiders this year. The fact you have a short week and you have to go to the East Coast, I think it's kind of BS for the Raiders. But I think I'm going to go with the Raiders here. I think with Mariota starting with the Commanders. I mean, the Commanders they haven't really looked the best. I mean, especially last week, they look like dog shit against Green Bay. I know Green Bay's going to be one of the top teams in the league, but even against the Giants, they kind of struggled in that game. I know they won 21-6, but it was kind of a struggle for them to kind of get going. And now you're going with your backup quarterback in this game. I don't know. I think the Raiders come out with some pride after only scoring 3 field goals last night against the Commanders.
All righty, let's go on over to Andrew. Andrew, who are you going to take in this game? Are you also going to take the Raiders?
For me, well, I would say if Jaden Daniels plays, because what I'm seeing is that he's got a sprained knee, but he might still play. So if Jaden plays, then they'll beat the Raiders. But backup quarterbacks in, I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. But yeah, you're right. The Commanders have not looked amazing this season so far, which is kind of shock. And I think Eckler's out, I believe, for the season, if I remember correctly. So pretty interesting situation there. But look, I think bottom line, I still would pick the Commanders for this game over the Raiders. I just think they have a better overall team offensively and defensively. I think it'll be a close game, but I think they'll squeak it out by 3 points. I think covering the spread probably be a good bet.
All righty, and Ryan, wrap us up. Who are you going to take in this game? Are you going to take the Raiders or are you going to take the Commanders?
Raiders. Commanders haven't looked that good. I mean, Marcus Mariota's playing, it's wraps that he's not that good. And as much as, I was dogging on Geno earlier, I think if Mariota's not playing, he can win that QB battle. And especially if they get Genty more involved, we know who knows when that Genty game will come where, he's arrived, and who knows if it comes. But hopefully not against the Broncos. But that could definitely be this game. I mean, it doesn't help, like Marcus said, that they got to travel all the way across after a Monday night game to the East Coast. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Raiders. I think they're a physical team at the end of the day. They're a very physical team. So I give them credit there. I'll take the Raiders.
Wow, sounds like everybody on the panel here heading into week 3 feels pretty confident about the Raiders getting back on track and getting right. But this is where we kick it off to you guys. What are your thoughts? What teams are you taking for week 3? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button here at the AFC West Roundtable, live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern every single Tuesday. So make sure you kick it with us. Make sure you guys subscribe to these guys' individual channels. Links in the description box below. Slam that like button on your way out. It really helps support us. We have 211 people watching live right now, 164 on YouTube. So let's get 150 likes before we end the stream. It would really, really help out the channel. But until next time, we appreciate you guys for watching, and stay safe.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network, covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.